Hello everybody, welcome to soundproofguide.com. In this video, I will talk about many different ways on how to make your standard sedan, mine is a Honda Accord, making that car that's 20-some thousand sound more like a $40, $50, $60, $100,000 vehicle. Because what a lot of people don't realize is what they do to make a luxury vehicle a lot quieter doesn't require much brain power and much money to make that happen. It's just the fact that a lot of manufacturers will not spend the extra money to make your sedan quiet. So in this video, I'll show you different products and different ways on just how to make your vehicle go from a regular vehicle sounding more like a luxury vehicle. In this vehicle, as you can see, I already have some sort of sound deadening material. However, it's not stuck on the metal. It's just a felt, and it is held on by a few clips. So this is actually perfect because I can just take the clips off, and if you do the same and you break a couple of clips, it's no big deal. Before you start this project, if you're afraid that you're going to break some clips, just go to your local car dealership and they can sell you these exact same clips, or you can just go online on Amazon, put the make and model of your car, and most likely you will find all the types of clips that you need. One thing to always remember before installing a sound deadening material, these sound deadening materials are all self-adhesive. You need to use a degreaser to clean the exposed metal surface, because in my case, while this vehicle is 7 years old, I live in a place where there's a lot of snow and they put salt, so I always undercoat my vehicle, and there's usually undercoating underneath the hood. One thing to do is not only wash properly the exposed metal, but to also use a degreaser to make sure that you have all of that off. So under the hood is, as you can see, quite straightforward, and that will eliminate a lot of engine noise at high speed on the highway. Now, the second thing that you want to look at is the floor. I'm not going to take my floor off, not in this video. Taking care of the floor is a little bit more challenging because you have to start ripping stuff out. And that can be quite intimidating for a lot of people. It's even intimidating for myself because you have to take the seats off. You have to take all the carpeting off. Now, once you begin doing that, you'll quickly find out that it's actually not that difficult. So just try it out. Begin, and if it's not working out the way that you think, stop, put everything back together. By putting a sound deadener directly on the floor, that will eliminate a lot of the road noise, especially on high speeds. If you live in the city and you basically never really get on highway speeds, then I wouldn't really worry about the floor, because if you're just driving slowly in the city, it's not really going to make that much of a difference unless you have like a really shitty car. But anyway, that is the second place that has the most road noise.
Just a quick pause. If you like this type of content, consider subscribing to our channel. And also feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear your feedback and also your questions that I would do my very best to answer. Thank you.
Now, another thing that a lot of people just don't realize is that a lot of the noise that you hear that you can eliminate comes from the tires. There is a difference between a lot of different tire manufacturers, because these winter tires that I have are so quiet compared to my summer tires. I would never have thought, because, well, here are my summer tires right there. I just took them off the other day, and these are Pirellis, and they're rated very high. However, they're not that great for sound, I noticed. Or maybe they are, but one thing's for sure, they're not as good as Michelin's. Michelin X Ice is what I use, and when I get rid of my summer tires, once they're done, I will go with Michelin's. Because I've always usually ran Michelin's, and yes, they are more expensive, but you will notice a huge difference with the amount of noise that travels from the tire to the inside of your vehicle. And another thing that a lot of people just don't realize is these tires are the only connection between you and the road. So if you have to pay a couple of $100s more to get a better quality tire, it's not only for noise control, it's also for safety. So remember that, especially if you're doing a lot of highway mileage in adverse conditions. So that's one thing that people don't realize is just buying the proper tire and doing a little bit of research. I usually just go on Consumer Reports and they have a lot of information on every single make and model of tires, and they talk about road noise. That's a good spot to start. Like my hubcap, it's all scratched to hell. This one's broke. I have to buy some more, but I don't really have any information on quiet hubcaps. Doesn't really exist, not that I am aware of. Now another spot that you will be adding sound deadening material is behind the doors. This is a little bit more challenging for some and even for myself because I haven't really done this too much before, but once I actually transform this car and give you the before and after, I will make sure to record it and to do a proper video tutorial. But one thing to do to soundproof or to make the doors a lot quieter and to reduce a lot of road noise, again, at highway speeds, because if you're in the city driving in very low speeds, then things like this just doesn't matter as much. It's mostly for, well, the tires and also underneath the hood where the engine noise, because of course if you're accelerating, decelerating, accelerating and decelerating all the time, it's mostly going to be the engine noise that is going to be a factor and not so much the noise coming from the door panels and underneath the vehicle. So that's one thing to consider and to remember, because the type of driving that you do will determine where you should tackle the soundproofing of your vehicle. Another spot that you can easily add some sound deadening material, not necessary, but if you just bought a lot and you have some to spare, the trunk. Open the trunk, clean it up, add some sound deadening material. It will not only make the car a smidge quieter, but when you close the trunk, like when you close the door, it will just sound less tinny. It will sound like a heavier piece of metal. It'll just sound better when you close it. And it will also sound better when you close the door if you have a lot of sound deadening material inside the door panels. Another way to make your car a little more quieter is your windshield wipers. People might not realize this, but a lot of windshield wipers are quite noisy and can just drive a lot of people insane. It's never happened to me, but I guess I've heard that it does happen. I'll leave a link in the description below of what I recommend for some of the quietest wipers to buy. And it's not only for noise reduction to have good wipers, but it's also to take care of your windshield. So here is just to show you that buying a cheap wiper blade is not only not great for sound, because obviously a lot of cheaper wiper blades, when it's raining, you'll just have a lot of noise when you have the wipers engaged. I'm sure you can understand what I'm talking about. But also buying a very cheap wiper is not good for your windshield, because if the material here is not very good and is very flimsy, then while your wipers are engaged all the time, that little piece of rubber will begin to getting a lot of rips and tears in it caused by little rocks, and will also leave room for little pebbles, well, very small pebbles of course, to get stuck in. And then what happens? You have your wipers on and that rock just goes right through your wiper all day long. One easy way to basically eliminate this is to use just alcohol glass cleaner. Same stuff you use to clean your safety glasses or your sunglasses. You just take one of these, you rip it open. I'm holding the camera with one hand. Makes it a little bit difficult. So here you go. You have one of these little wipes, and all I do once in a while, I'll tell you to do it once a week, but heck, I hardly ever do it because I always forget. You just clean the wiper. These wipers are fairly new. I've only installed them a few weeks ago, and this is the first time I actually do this. So while doing this, it will actually make the wiper a little bit quieter because you are getting rid of a little bit of the dirt inside. As you can see, there was a little bit of dirt inside, not as much as I was hoping for this video, but you get what I'm saying. So that's just a little trick on keeping your wipers not only quiet, but also clean so it doesn't scratch your windshield. So basically by doing all of these little alterations, you will notice that your car sounds a lot quieter. Now, just to recap, if you have a vehicle and you're doing mostly city driving, I wouldn't bother too much with the undercarriage or the doors. I would focus more on the hood and on the tires, because having a nice quality, quiet tire will make a huge difference, not only on highway speeds, but also in the city. Now, if you're driving mostly in the highway, well, then I would do the exact same under the hood with a heat-resistant sound deadener. Good quiet tires. Do underneath underneath your seats and on the floor. It's kind of a job, but if you're really serious at doing it, then I would suggest doing it. The doors will make a big difference also at just not letting as much noise in at highway speeds. But again, if you're just driving in the city at 30, 40 miles an hour, don't worry too much about the doors. Don't worry too much about the trunk. Don't waste your money. Subscribe. Don't unsubscribe. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Goodbye. Feel free to take a look at many of our other YouTube videos and also some of our articles on our website, soundproofguide.com. Don't forget to click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and also consider subscribing to our channel if you like our content. Also, feel free to leave us a comment below if you have any soundproofing questions of your own. We will certainly try our very best to help you. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video or any other videos in our channel. Thank you very much.